where he won a bronze medal at 81 kilos. He lost to Lopez in his semi-final. He's moved up to 86 since then, and you can only imagine that 81 was quite difficult to make for him during that Olympics. The physical difference between him then and now is quite marked. He hangs on the back foot, basically forces you to come to the ropes. He'll go to the ropes, forces his opponent to come forward, and then backs his superior hand speed. So this could be a little bit of a chess match, this. Be interesting to see how it goes. We were talking about this yesterday and the dynamics at play when you do have a fighter who basically does really force the opponent to fight the fight that they want to fight by retreating voluntarily. So into the first round. In the red there, we've got Ruiz of Cuba. In the blue, we've got Alfonso of Azerbaijan. And Alfonso, as I say, immediately, he's just creeping back into a corner. He will look for his opponent to lead off often and then back that superior hand speed. But one thing we do know is that Cuban fighters have got nice, quick, sharp hands. Southpaw here, Ruiz. Misses with the left hand. Right hand counter came in from Alfonso. Looked like it might have landed around about the shoulder, left to the body there from Ruiz, who's just trying to get on top of Alfonso in the corner there, which isn't an easy thing to do. Looks to the right to the body. Again there, Alfonso. And again, as I say, he's happy to give that ground. Ends up in the blue corner on the far side. And Ruiz looked to really put some body weight behind that left into the chest there. And we go from one corner back across the ring to the other corner. Ruiz just shut his own space down a little bit there. As again, he looked to land the left. And as a quick look down to the corner, these will be interesting battles, won't they? Kind of politically between the two fighters, the two nations, the two corners. And the head's almost coming together on the inside there as they're tied up. And Alfonso just trapping the arm of Ruiz on the blind side of the referee. And again, there he is, backed up to the corner with the hands down. He waits for the punch to come from Ruiz and then pulls his weight back and avoids it. Didn't really look to try and throw the counter, heading up towards the final minute of round one. Combination there from Alfonso, but seemed to be mainly taken on the gloves. Not a great deal has got through from either of these so far. They've kind of traded body shots, shots to the chest, and it's in situations like this where that dynamic, and we mentioned this earlier, of who is on the front foot and who is backing up, can become important, a kind of secondary criteria which rightly will enter the fray in terms of the judging if it continues like this. And just a couple to the body there, no weight on them at all from Ruiz. A little feint with the front foot there from Ruiz, just looking to try and set those feet wide and throw the left hand. The purpose of that is to try and make it difficult for Alfonso to get out, but a byproduct of it is that he just pulls that left hand a bit. It makes it very difficult to shoot it straight when you plant your feet square like that. So into the final few seconds. Nice right to the body there from Alfonso as Ruiz was coming in. Referee just having a quick word about a little bit of pushing there from Alfonso. And we were confident we knew what we would get, which would be one fighter backing up and the other one coming onto the front foot. And that's exactly what we've had. And there's not really very much to choose from, really, in that first round.
Very cagey first round between two boxers who have both developed their skills in the vaunted Cuban system. And because there's so little to choose between them, it's a 3-2 split in favor of the man from Azerbaijan, who was born in Havana. Ruiz Cordoba taking it for the judges from Canada and Netherlands. But very little in it. Both men looking to create their openings. That was exactly the tactic, as you described, that Alfonso Rodriguez looks to employ. Uses reflexes and speed. I think for the punches that did land, his were perhaps the more eye-catching. The lay back, and he turned a right uppercut underneath on occasion, and an eye-catching right cross on the belt. But we may have seen a pattern in the first round established for the entire contest. Who can do something differently or more cleanly between themselves and their opponents?
That is exactly what this is about, and I think this dynamic will continue. Ruiz just looking to try and be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit quicker with his feet at the start of the round and put Alfonso under some more pressure, but he shot a lovely right hand off the ropes there, Alfonso. Just sank back slightly, almost bounced off the ropes. And the referee having a word there with Ruiz about the head, so he needs to be a little bit careful. Lands or rather aims a big left hand. I think it was blocked, then a left hand on the inside did get through. Alfonso is comfortable on the back foot. He's comfortable under pressure again. He's happy to just go straight to the corner. Ruiz, when he gets him back there, I think has just got to look to work as hard as he can. 2 phases of attack maybe. But against somebody like Alfonso, you do have to try as hard as you can in the middle of all that activity to pick your punches, because he's ice cold under fire. Just inching back with those feet there. Alfonso then uses the ropes, bounces off them, spins out of the corner, right hand lead, then pivots around that front foot, throwing a left hand off the back foot, and again just sinking into the ropes, pulling that head back. And Ruiz is working terrifically hard in this second round, midway through it. But again, there's a left hand off the ropes, off the back foot from Alfonso. Couldn't really see from here if it got through absolutely clean, but the upper body movement is so good. Steps into a 1-2. That looked nice and solid. I think partially blocked, and then a right hand off the back foot, I think did just clip Ruiz on the way in. Ruiz walks forward again, gets pinned with a right to the body there as he comes in, and he's looked to up the ante in this second round to increase the heat, and the Cuban corner are just telling him to bring more of the same, to step 2. Alfonso, right hand there, left hand rather did land, left on the inside snuck through as well, and maybe the corner feel that Alfonso's beginning to feel this in the final minute of the round. Left hand there again, I think the glove caught that one for Alfonso, but he is beginning to get pushed back a little bit here, and there's not quite as much coming back from him. Right to the body there from Alfonso, tries to just throw that single right off the back foot, then whips the uppercut in. For me, he had the best of the opening 2 minutes of this round, but Ruiz has maybe brought some more effective pressure to bear in the final minute. But having said that, I don't really know if it's translated into clean punching. I thought the cleaner shots again there came from the blue corner.
I would agree with that, but I think what it has done is set up a really intriguing final round, because at the 40-second mark, just as you mentioned it, and just as our viewers at home was treated to a shot of the Cuban corner, as we see Alfonso, well, it's a 3-2 split once again. So, going into the final round, we can update you with the scorecards momentarily, but what I think it does is set up an intriguing final round, because if the man in blue, Alfonso, is feeling the pace, will he be able to pull back on all the explosion that requires from the core and step back with quick-footed movements? Because I think the investment in pressure and body shots could well begin to pay dividends here in the third and final round. I think we're in for a fascinating final 3 minutes. But again, let's caveat that, a fighter in shape, a minute can see their energy tanks go back to full. Let's see what kind of shape the man in blue is in.
Well, he's got a slight advantage because he's got a 20-18 lead on 2 cards. Ruiz has got the same lead on 1 card, and then we've got 2 at 19-19. So Ruiz needs both of them, whereas Alfonso needs 1. And I think that's what the Cuban corner was saying to him when they beckoned him in, Ruiz, towards the end of the round, that this was money in the bank, hopefully, for the third and final round. And he got enough of that second round, as we say, for this to be absolutely in the balance. And he continues to stalk on the front foot there, Ruiz, but there's that right foot into the pit of the stomach there from Alfonso. I don't think he does have quite the same snap in the early stages of this round as we've seen from him in the first couple, because Ruiz has brought educated pressure. He's brought some decent heat, and he's looking to try and turn it up here. Just had his man in the corner there and maybe let him out slightly easily. Alfonso just with a little walk. There was a left hand up top there from Ruiz. Wasn't clean, but it did land. And he is having a bit more success here The upper body movement isn't quite as quick now from Alfonso, who throws that single shot to the body, then looks to try and hold on. Well, both of them just nick a couple of seconds rest there, but Alfonso does have a more weary look to him in this third and final round now. I think that's absolutely indisputable as we head into the second half of it. I wouldn't say that was laboured, that right hand, but it was an effort punch. He really had to set himself and put everything behind that as he threw it in. And Ruiz, if he can just keep that work rate high, I think he can maybe take this away from Alfonso in this final minute, but he must keep that work rate high. And there's always the possibility, of course, that Alfonso will just manage to effectively counter him. He has to try and disengage Ruiz when they tangle up on the inside there, because this is Alfonso who wants to do this rather than Ruiz. Just a quick reminder about those scores. There are 2 level cards. Ruiz needs both of them. Alfonso needs one of them. Essentially, that's what this is coming down to. He's backed into the corner, and that's a big left hand there from Ruiz. A heavy left hand into the chest. Big sucker breath there from Alfonso. Right hand landed, but it wasn't a clean shot, and it wasn't what caused the knockdown, and the referee just signals to wipe off the gloves. And we've got just under 30 seconds remaining. Nice little combination to the body there from Alfonso. Ruiz coming forward. Again, he's looking for those little digs, those little sly digs into the body there. Alfonso with slightly better head movement there, upper body movement, right into the final few seconds. And then he looks slightly ragged as he just pirouettes away to some clear empty space. And well, the man on the front foot in this final round there, indisputably, and the man on the front foot throughout the course of that fight was Herich Ruiz. Did it translate to enough clean punching to win that round? Given that Alfonso just had, I thought, a little bit of a renaissance towards the end there. I don't know.
Well, I think the man in the blue corner has boxed a very clever round there. 26 years of age, but I think he has old-manned Ruiz in the red corner. He came and continued to press, but what Alfonso did was disengage. He kept throwing that bolo right hand to the body. Occasionally it landed, sometimes it didn't, but then he would hold on, then he would buy time. Then you saw him push his opponent to the canvas. Time not called by the referee. Gloves have got to be wiped clean. He's got to be spoken to. It's all killing the clock. I think the man in blue has taken it.
And you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Alfonso gets it. Muted celebrations from him. Full respect for his fellow countrymen there. And in the final round, we had 4-1 split scoring. 4 of the judges going in favour of Alfonso, and that gives him a 4-1 split on the cards overall. The judge from Bulgaria going 3 rounds to 0 as the scores just disappear off the screen. But it was a good fight. We knew that it was going to be a tactical battle. I knew, having watched Alfonso, what we were going to get from him, and I knew exactly what we were going to get from Ruiz as well. It was one of those fights where going into it, both knew what the other one was going to do, and it was just a question of who could execute their game plan slightly better on the night. I think you're right. I think you've nailed it there with the expression of him old-manning him, because that is what he did. He would throw a single punch, get onto the inside, grab hold of him, take him for a little walk, pin that arm on the blind side of the referee at times. And I did feel that on occasion it was up to Ruiz to try and disentangle, disengage, push him off and go again more at times. But that's easy to say for me. That is easy to say for me. He worked terrifically hard there, Ruiz, and felt that he'd probably done just about enough, but in the end it didn't prove to be the case. So it is Alfonso who goes through in our second semi-final at cruiserweight, and we will have him up against Kano